So in this video's adventure, I will take you not to just one, but two abandoned military airstrips here in the Southern California desert. As if the visit to the two abandoned airstrips wasn't adventure enough, this week turned into something really special. On the second day at night, the Marine Corps showed up with Osprey helicopters doing night training, touch and go training. And I thought that was already pretty cool. I couldn't see anything. I saw the positioning lights at the other end of the airstrip. But then it became even more during day exercises. And then on the last day when I was there, they actually even landed right next to my rig. And it got even better from there. I ended up getting one of their unit patches, and I have this here on my wall, the Ugly Angels. They gave me one of their unit patches, and in this video I will tell you the story, so come along. Hello and welcome. Come with me as I explore this military airstrip here, where I'm camped for the week, or at least 3-4 days. I'm in the desert of Southern California. I'm about 5, 6, 7 miles north of the Mexican border. And yeah, this is an old abandoned military airstrip. And for the next few days, I will take you along and show you what's left of this airport. To get to the airstrip, I followed some rural country roads here in Southern California, close to the border to Mexico. Once I arrived at the airstrip, I just started taking time to look around and identify really where am I on the airstrip in this case, where are the taxiways, and where would be a good spot for me to set up camp for the next few days. Some of the markings on this airstrip looked, I don't want to say new, but not as old as you would expect from an airstrip that was used up until the 1960s. The runways were in mixed shape. You can see some destruction here. I'm wondering if this is coming from earthquakes or what pressure is needed to push up these concrete tiles. More damage here on the runways. Definitely no airplanes landing here anytime soon. There would be a lot of damage in case they hit one of these, I want to say, obstacles. The main runway is about 6,000 feet or 1,800 meters long. Shelby and I spent a lot of time just walking around, exploring, looking at the different, I want to say, parts of the runway, the taxiways. And yeah, some areas were actually in pretty decent shape and others were in really bad shape from that perspective. Walking around, I really tried to imagine how must it have been for the soldiers back in 1943, 1944, when this airfield was actively used for training during World War II. I wonder if this is the rubble from the buildings that they tore down. I don't know what else it could be. Good morning. It's the next morning. I had a really peaceful and quiet night here. There were some people off-roading in the surrounding BLM land, and they left around 6 yesterday, drove by with their trucks and trailers where they had their dirt bikes and ATVs and whatever else as toys with them. And after that it was completely quiet. It was cold overnight. It went down to 40 degrees, which I guess is normal here for the desert. But it's a beautiful morning, the sun is coming up. I'm enjoying my walk with Shelby at the moment. Let me turn the camera around. So this is the taxiway, if I'm not mistaken. And the runway is actually over here. I hope you can see that. But you can see Mother Nature is reclaiming this property. There's definitely no activity in regards to airplanes here possible at this point, or safely possible. I'm pretty sure some people could potentially land a smaller plane on the runway. There's a long enough stretch where it might be bumpy, but it shouldn't be disastrous. But I think it's safe to say there's no more activity happening here. Again, 2 of these concrete tiles pushed up. I wonder if this comes from earthquakes or what, because there's no bushes or trees really that could push this up. So I can only assume pressure of some sort, shifting stuff, and then the weakest point breaks. But the colors in the sky are very beautiful. Look here at the area where the sun is coming up in a few minutes. I love it here. What a great adventure this is. So just walking up to this leftover steel, whatever that is. So I don't know what this little steel structure of fingers. It looks pretty heavy. My guess would be it is military with the numbers on here. But yeah, I would also think we're in the desert here. That's a lot of stuff that could potentially end up here as disposal. So this section of the airfield is fairly wide. I assume they parked the airplanes here. But I'm just guessing. I don't know where all the structures were. It looks like there was a structure over here. I've just seen two structures in that direction. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. But let's just walk over here and see if this is just trash over here or remains of a structure. It looks like it's just trash. So the sun is coming up here. We're heading back to the truck and I'll make a hot cup of tea and put the solar panel out. It took me a little longer yesterday to upload my latest video, and I even had to set the alarm. I went to sleep for 2 hours and then woke up and completed the upload and turned off Starlink to conserve energy. But now with the sun coming up, I will put out the solar panel and will start solar production as soon as I get back to the truck. So the sun is coming up over the horizon. We just switched from the taxiway to the runway and working our way back towards the truck. The truck is pretty much just a little bit on the right side of the sun coming up. It's probably not visible in the camera because the sun is so bright. And it is cold. I should have taken my gloves from the truck. It's about 40 degrees, and while that is not dramatically cold, when you're out here holding the camera and filming yourself, I better keep my ears warm, then it gets cold. So cold fingers. So for tomorrow morning, I know I will bring my gloves with me and use that for filming, but it is really nice here. There's no wind. I hear an airplane up in the air. I see lights and buildings in the far distance, so it's not that I'm in the middle of nowhere, even though I am in the middle of nowhere if you look at it from a population perspective. But overall, when I looked outside yesterday stargazing, there was a lot of light and there was no good stargazing. Of course, you see more stars here compared to Vista or San Diego, where I live, but it was still a very nice sunset last night, and now the sunrise is not disappointing either. Let me turn the camera around one more time. This is what the runway looks like with the sun coming up. It's a very beautiful morning, and I already worked a few minutes here and there this morning, but now it's time to get back and make some hot tea. So there are quite a few of these hay bales left here. I assume those are from the good old racing days. Shall we come on this way? From the racing day when the airstrip was used for, I assume, drag racing, maybe even regular racing, who knows. Well, the Marines are here on the other side of the airfield. It's dark, so we don't see anything. It is quite the windy day out here. Lots of sand and dust flying around. Well, hopefully that ends sometime later today. It was after dark when I heard the Marines coming back again, but this time they were landing much closer to my truck on the runway just around the corner. Then suddenly the two helos changed course and I almost had a direct flyover over my truck. It was kind of fascinating and scary at the same time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy smokes! The helicopter did his loop and then came back for another direct flyover over my truck. I'm assuming they have night vision and could see me, but who knows? A second Osprey helicopter did the same type of exercise at the other end of the airstrip. This went on for a couple times, flyover, landing, waiting, taking off, and so on. The next day started with a surprise that the Osprey helicopters were coming back and doing daylight exercises about a quarter mile away from me. If you focus on the bushes down below the helicopter, you can see how windy it was that day. The bushes are not moving from the helicopter. This was the strong wind that was going on that day. It was fascinating to see with what precision the pilot was maneuvering in these strong winds. These were the same winds that fueled the fire in the Los Angeles area, or the fires in the Los Angeles area. And yeah, the way how this pilot here in this case was handling the helicopter, at least from my perspective, looked really fascinating and cool. You can also see how much dirt and dust this helicopter is now pushing up in the air. So there is so much power in those rotors. It is so cool. I'm sure they're having fun showing off. Holy moly! Well, this was really cool. I'm still in disbelief that this really happened. It's amazing, but the day wasn't over yet. What happened next is that the next time these helos came around, they parked, and two stayed, one took off. And suddenly the rear hatch opened up from one of the Ospreys and two guys came out. One actually started walking over to me, and I started walking towards him when I realized that he's coming my way. And we talked a little bit, and he said, we are expecting 3 additional helos to come in. It will be quite busy, and you are camped right in our flight path. And if I would be able to move. He said, you don't have to move, but if you wouldn't be able to move, it would be fantastic. And I said, sure, no problem at all. I'll move. There's so much space here. I was almost done packing up my stuff. I mean, this goes quick with the Rossmonster Baja. A different guy came from the helicopter and started walking towards me. I saw him coming. I went his way. We chatted for a moment, and then he actually gave me a patch of their unit. And I was like completely blown away. It's like I was like a little child not knowing what to do. So this unit are the Ugly Angels. They're stationed here in the San Diego area. And well, this patch has a good place on my wall inside my rig. Fortunately, the walls and the Velcro from the patch work perfectly together. And that's how I ended up with a patch of the Ugly Angels. I left camp and drove through the desert on this dirt road here on BLM land towards the second abandoned military airstrip. What you will see in the video is very different from the first one. I mean, the first one looks like almost in perfect condition compared to the second one, but it's a very cool experience, so come along. Abandoned airstrip number 2, and this looks like a disaster zone. Holy smokes. What I found out yesterday is that apparently this landing strip, so for one, they used it to train carrier landings, airplane carrier landings in the 1940s and afterwards. So I assume they had markings on here that represented the length and the width of an airplane carrier. They also even built the catapult system and I think that catch system with the ropes here as well. But then I found out yesterday that they apparently use this for shooting, for target shooting. So that could explain why this airfield looks like what it looks like right now. Holy smokes. I mean, there's a small stretch over here that seems to be intact. And I don't think this was like bombs or anything. This is probably just 50 cal and that type of stuff. And I'm guessing looks very interesting. So it just remains of pavement or concrete here out in the desert. Very cool if you like history like I do. And I like these unique places. So that's, for me, that's why I built my rig. I wanted to go to these places, even set up camp and work from these locations with my day job. But this looks, well, you could say boring. I find it totally cool to walk on this airstrip here. And just imagine what it would have been here 50 years ago, 60 years ago, even more years ago. I need to get my math right. So, about 80 years ago. I also heard that in the 1970s, they did drag racing out here. I stumbled upon a Facebook discussion yesterday on a Google search to find out more information about this airstrip. And apparently in the 70s they had drag racing here. This place has also been used for a lot of partying. I mean, it's out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody even close. When I looked at the map, there's really nothing around. So perfect place for hiding a party with loud music, booze and drugs and sex and rock and roll. So I'm coming up towards something. I cannot tell yet what it is over there. The other thing I found out that I think last December, a helicopter, a military helicopter, was here for practicing and had issues and was stranded here for a couple of months or a month, whatever the case may be. And they put up a tent here with a couple of soldiers in rotating shifts to guard the helicopter until they were able to get it fixed, which apparently took a while to get the right pieces. So I've seen a picture of that thing here in front of me. It looks like it's part of a weapon system. I have no idea. Feel free to leave a comment. I don't know what this is. There's concrete in here. So I have no idea what that is, but the concrete is just bizarre. There's a label. I don't know, I might have to take a picture and look at this. Empty. Well, the color is military green, so I guess it's safe to say that this is military. There is something that says do not whatever. The sun and the wind took it away. What a bizarre place. I cannot say it in any other words. I mean, how does this all disappear? So it makes sense that they use this for shooting with I assume coming out of helicopters or airplanes. I don't know if that is still active. I don't see any shrapnel casings. So that I cannot tell. There's nothing here. And that's literally here the end of the road. It is super windy today. Shelby's right ear, which is facing the wind, is just flying up from the wind. Otherwise, a beautiful day. It's warm, it's in the 70s, but the wind is awful. Yeah, this looks like bullet holes down here. That could very well be bullets. Anyway, I've seen this place on Google Earth and was wondering if it's just sand that's blown over the pavement or concrete. And no, because there were so color shades, and no, what it is the pavement is drawn. I mean, this really looks like, right now I'm walking on original pavement or concrete. And again, I haven't seen any shrapnel bullet casings and nothing that confirms what I heard, that this was used for target shooting. So that entire event, when I was at the military airstrip and suddenly with the Marines doing their Osprey exercises, touch and go exercises there, it was just a fantastic event. I'm really just still filled with delight, and I'm super happy that I was there and was able to experience this. I've never experienced something like this before, so very cool. Also wanted to say thank you to the Marines, to the Ugly Angels, for giving me the patch. It's here on the wall inside my rig. I will carry it with honor here, really. I really appreciate it, and have to say thank you for your service. I'm hoping maybe at one point in the future, and I don't know if there's like an air show or something, that I can see one of these things from the inside. That would be really the icing on the cake, but this was fantastic. It's like I said, my heart is full with joy from these few days, just watching this, and then getting the patch. It's a simple thing, but for me it was just like a fantastic moment in my life. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so as well. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.